is the third attempt at this. We started at 10 o'clock. It's probably closer to 1:30 now, is it?
So, welcome to tonight's Inferno TV, the Shambles edition, effectively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is it the third attempt?
Because the camera keeps not recording.
No, because the cameraman didn't turn the record
Didn't turn the
button
recording
on.
on.
The camera.
Yeah. So what happens if you don't turn record on? Nothing
But
records,
as per.
which is hilarious.
Yeah, but as.
So, continuing with the Shambles theme. So if you don't press record, nothing records.
But yeah, but as per,
Yeah.
there was people looking for high-end technical solutions to why the camera was turning off, and it was.
Because it wasn't done. That's genius. Anyway,
Let's make a start.
you have to make a start.
Yeah.
The Scotland triple header,
Oh, we could listen to it
which is
again.
organised by our sponsors, Red Army Travel. You two just don't say
We just
anything, all right?
doubled our audience.
Just try and behave.
Didn't we?
Red. I do apologise this evening. And the security men have been in as well. The Red Army Travel, they did a great job of organising the hotel and the travel up there. We had a lovely time. We stayed fairly close to Edinburgh Castle as our base for the 3 games. And the first game away was Dundee.
John,
Just behave,
did
will
you
you?
go and visit Holyrood?
It might not be as funny the first time, but
Yeah.
you've heard it 3 times already.
Alice asked the same questions now.
John,
Shut up.
did you know
Focus.
that they might be bringing direct flights?
Sorry, everybody.
John,
Anyway,
So we went to
Edinburgh.
we went to Dundee. What we'll do is when we film this, we'll just blank those two out.
God.
We'll put them in hats or something so you can't see them. We went up to Dundee, and there was about 300 Devils fans there, and we sort of it was a bit like a home game for the guys. A lot of Devils noise. We dominated the game.
Oh yeah, what's the atmosphere like up in Dundee? Because I haven't been.
The atmosphere in Dundee was very good. They have a drummer.
See if you could
They
answer
had
it better the second time.
I answered it perfectly last time when the camera wasn't recording. All right, they got a drummer there. It was noisy. It was good. It was a really good game. We were very much made welcome by the guys there.
When we scored, what did they play? Did they play music when we scored? When we scored, the away team.
Oh, I don't really remember because there was so much noise in our section.
Just asking for a friend.
Yeah, it was so much noise in our section. I can't really remember what they did, to be honest.
No, that's good. Fair enough. Cool.
But where Dundee attempted to hit us on the break and sat back for most of the game, we played like the home side. I expected them to play the other way around. I thought they would be the dominant, the difficult team of that weekend for us. Second place in the league.
Well, exactly. Yeah, looking at it going in, if they're second place in the league, they've got
Recently
to
beat Belfast.
Recently beat Belfast.
Yeah, I thought they would be really tough opposition for us. As it was, we actually were dominant in that game, and they were probably fortunate to get one.
Yeah.
So that was the Dundee game. Fife game the following day. We went up to Fife, there's always a bit of an intimidating atmosphere at Fife just because of the seating arrangement. They had a lot of fans in. It was very noisy. It was a physical, fast game of hockey. Probably after the game the night before, the guys were a bit taken by surprise by the way that game went. But we ground a win out. I would have to say it wasn't a beautiful game to watch. It looked a lot like a playoff game, to be honest. There was bodies flying round, and there was a.
How did the Eastern European guys fare in that then? Because obviously we always hear that they're not so keen on the physical stuff. But they do well in you guys, or?
They didn't appear to have any problem at all. To be fair, I've seen hockey played in Eastern Europe, and I've seen it being played physical. So they don't all play with no contact. That's a misnomer. There's plenty of physical play in the Eastern European leagues as well.
There's less fighting, isn't there?
Yeah,
Because
there's less
the
fighting.
penalties are harsher though as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Game misconducts in a lot of
There's a
leagues.
lot less fighting, but guys like Stitya, they
Nice.
yeah.
Steve, isn't it? Hang on. Isn't it Steve?
Nobody's gonna know the hell. Nobody's gonna know the hell you're talking about if you say
Well, pronounce-
Svitje.
pronounce it correctly.
The correct
That's
pronunciation.
Right. Steve. So to the fans, we can welcome him as Steve. Strong guy, lovely moving around the ice, and Gyptas as well, similar sort of player. And then Rama, who obviously is a little bit short of match play at the moment, but we're showing some great hands, great positional awareness in the games that he played. He played in the Dundee game, didn't play in the Fife game. I think Mo played in the Fife game, if I remember correctly.
He did. He's not 100%, is he?
He's not 100% yet, Mo. He didn't have a bad game. Still face is still heavily marked from the collision previously. Then so we ground out a win there. Difficult game. Went up to Edinburgh the following day for the next game. Absolutely freezing in the ring, unsurprisingly.
It always is.
It is.
It's just like
It's a bit nicer in there though. They've got a revised ceiling in there now. They've got some new lighting. Yeah, it's actually not too bad.
Can't see the sky anymore.
No, and certainly the lighting, the light on the ice is a lot better than it was.
That's good.
That is a very big ice pad up there, though, as you probably know.
Huge, yeah.
And suits their game of hit you on the break. They know exactly where to have their man. They play with a lot of hustle. They've got a team that's built around guys who'll hustle all night. Pulled everyone back apart from one man for most of the night. Absorbed loads and loads of pressure from us. They scored off a rebound. Unfortunately, a Cook rebound went straight out in front, and they were able to capitalise on that. But after that, they didn't really get to do too much. Phil made some good saves, and that was, and that sort of set the tone really. It was wave after wave of Devils attacks, and it went on and on and on, and eventually we ground them down and got one in. And then at 1-0, the game sort of went back to where it was, and it was just very tight, very tight. Not particularly physical game, just difficult. It's difficult to take the body on the big ice like that anyway, because you only need to be fractioning out the time, and you miss the person altogether. Then you're out of position, and it's easy for them to skate away. And given how fast they are on the break, you can't afford to do that. So it wasn't really a physical contact. We chased them around a lot, and in that third period, Marsh managed to put one away, and that was enough basically to take the game. But three wins. First game, which should have been the most difficult, was probably the easiest. The other two were fairly difficult games for us, and we were a little bit tired in the Edinburgh game. But fair play to the guy, fair play to the Caps as well, who stepped up in that game and gave us a hard contest. They worked right until the end.
Yeah, I know.
So, and the same with Fife. You'd have to say they forced us into overtime.
Yeah, those games never felt safe.
No, difficult, and it could have gone either way. I think that was Blight with a sweet finish against Fife to get us the result there. But it was great. It was great for the guys, I think, because the atmosphere was so good. It was great to see them all smiling. I also was fortunate enough to sit behind the bench for one of the nights.
All right. Well, is that in Edinburgh? Because I used to be behind the bench.
Yeah, it's on the opposite side now.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
I sat behind the bench when we played Fife, and I was able to listen to what Bubba was saying, what Mac was saying to the guys, and what the guys themselves were saying to each other.
Can I just say,
it was quite interesting.
Could those two blokes have made more noise?
I don't think
No, they definitely were rustling their keys around
if one of
deliberately.
them had a trumpet, possibly. Yeah.
I mean, that was incredible, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Go on.
But certainly, as far as the trip goes, it was a fantastic experience for everyone who went. Apart from maybe Jon and Gerald, who did the travel, because it's just so much work to organise. I don't think people really comprehend what's involved, and also that what Jon and
It's like herding cats.
what Jon and Gerald are doing is they organise the travel for you, and they organise the hotel, and really the rest of it is down to the individual who goes. It's not Jon and Gerald's. They're not really there to babysit everybody.
Which they shouldn't have.
I think that's a point. I should make, because I think sometimes I've seen it with other travel organisations. People tend to rely a bit too heavily on the people who organise those things, and it means that they can't enjoy the weekend as well. Then, and I felt a bit for Jon and Gerald on that weekend, because they were, they ended up probably sorting out a lot of stuff that they wouldn't otherwise.
Like what people do with Go in Belfast as well, and it's like, where can I go and get a drink? Where can I go and get something to eat?
Yeah, it's all that.
They have food I like.
It's all that sort of stuff, and unfortunately for the guys, it becomes a stressful weekend instead of an enjoyable one for them.
It's a shame.
And you could understand if they didn't really want to do it. And I do know people from other travel clubs who just stopped doing it for those very reasons. So I hope that isn't the case with Jon and Gerald, and a big thank you to them.
So what's your message to the Devils fans? Sort themselves out?
Put
themselves together?
Yeah, well, look after yourself would be a good start.
Can't say that.
No.
Mean, isn't it?
I think at this point as well, we probably should say some
I
other.
think I put words in your mouth there, John.
Yeah.
Just before you get abused for something I've said.
That's all right. I think we should probably say some thank yous.
Yeah, we should. Yeah.
So my first thank you is this: Cookie. You could have joined in, boys.
I didn't know what was happening.
Well, that's what we do for.
I couldn't work out what name you were saying for 2 goes. I was going to come in on a third.
A big thank you to Phil Cook for coming over before Christmas.
Yeah.
Leaving his family behind to come over to help us out. A big thank you for that. And for all the efforts when you were over here, and just for being such a nice guy as well.
I'd like to thank him for his big saves, because he made some spectacular saves as well, which means I got to go huge save like that.
save. Sorry,
Yeah.
that's the.
He had one job, and he's over there playing with his big phone.
Playing with his big phone.
But
Hey, his big phone is big.
So and now I can't even say what he's doing, but it's
He's-
very bad.
Cook was certainly a joy to
It's
watch.
not the first time we heard a John Cleese impression.
Jesus!
Oh no!
For the love of God, you wouldn't get this anywhere else.
Oh.
No, I do apologise. The Cook was a joy to
Don't
watch.
do that
And
on camera, you lame-o.
he was a joy to deal with as well off the ice. He's a really nice guy, and
Yeah.
big thanks to Phil, and a big thanks to Joe Myers, who unfortunately wasn't with us in Scotland due to some changes last week. But still, a big thank you to Joe for stepping up for us this season. Fantastic shootout record that he's had with us, and I really felt that Joe's game was coming on. So, a big thanks to Joe and a big thanks to Phil for what they've done for us as a club and the team this year.
Yeah, go on.
Our audience was pleased with that.
Yeah, I think they were clapping your comment as much as the contribution of the players, John.
It's very kind of them. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we are. It's an interesting one, the Joe Myers release, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just hanging that out there.
That caught. Well, I must say that caught me by surprise because I thought that Joe was, Joe's game. Joe had upped his game. Sorry, excuse me.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm confused. Sorry, you lost me.
That's
No, yeah.
definitely. That's
Excuse
not on
me.
the thing.
No,
But
no.
seeing as it was, and it should. It's the
Well,
first
Yeah,
show
I
we've
meant
done.
to put it up.
It's
And I
the
forgot.
first show we've done, isn't it?
It is. You're right. Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think that that's right. But yeah. So there you go. That's your
Yeah, it
thoughts
was a bit
on
of a shock. Yeah.
Surprised. I think in the middle of the year season, I would have thought for people.
Definitely.
You can see the logic, I think, in the thought process. I would say that just in terms of the line that there is in terms of developing players and that sort of thing. But I suppose it does seems
the
like
timing.
an odd thing.
It's the timing for me. I can see the logic, but not in the middle of the season,
No.
and not when your backup netminder has been doing well for you.
Yeah.
For me personally,
No, I agree. Yeah.
that was my personal feeling. Was that's the sort of thing that happens in the off season,
Yeah.
and it wouldn't be as upsetting for the fans then, particularly as Joe was a popular guy around the rink,
True.
and has always stepped up for us. So I mean, a lot of us are aware that there's no great money involved for Joe, so it's always been for the love. So a big thank you. Further from that, maybe we'll go on to the third point and then go back to the second point. Is it?
Okay. Yeah. Is that? Yeah.
So the third point was today's announcement.
Yeah.
Quite a long time ago now, that announcement, given
It
the
was.
time of night
How
it
long
is.
does this go? Yeah. I mean,
I forgot what it was.
it's nearly Wednesday, isn't it? Really. So it's good.
So yesterday's, well actually this goes out on Wednesday, doesn't it?
I don't know.
Hopefully it'll go up late tomorrow
So
or Thursday.
yesterday's announcement
Yes.
We've got to keep remembering that, you see.
Yeah.
was that Dave Whistle is going to be interim coach while Brent Pope is away in Sochi.
Bit of a shock, to be fair. I was expecting some kind of player coach sort of interim thing where we wouldn't actually sign anybody or bring anybody in.
Well, I think a lot of us were expecting that because
Yeah.
the rumours consistently for a long time have been
Yeah,
from those with inside information that it would definitely be players who would take
Yeah.
over the coaching.
but then we can start a new rumour right now.
But then-
Oscar the Grouch will be our starting netminder next year.
We-
There we go.
we've-
I'm starting a new rumour. You've done it first.
We've seen a
Yeah.
lot of rumours this year, and the vast majority of them have not come true, have they?
No.
So is it now the case that when you see a rumour from a credible source that you actually think that is definitely not happening? Because there was a time where quite often it did come true.
There's
It
been
does seem a lot less this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if there's been I almost wonder if there's been some deliberate misinformation, so to try and identify where the information is coming from. Because sometimes when you're trying to find out where information is coming from, where it's leaking from, you deliberately tell somebody.
Yeah,
I don't. It probably isn't. Being conspiratorial now.
To be honest with you,
1950
ju-
Burnley.
this
This is
might-
ice hockey. Come
sure?
on.
yeah.
Similar.
I don't want to
but-
know though.
No,
I don't want
That's
to
the
know
thing.
either. No.
I just want to be a
I wanna
fan
go
of
and support my
fan of
club.
the team, and I'll learn what happens when the statement comes out. I suppose it's not really something I've ever been particularly bothered. Some people are bothered, I suppose, but we'll see. But I mean, it's quite nice, really, like having a schedule announcement and not knowing.
Yeah.
It's like reading spoilers, isn't it, of your favourite TV show?
No, it's
And
true.
it's never the same, is it, when you see it happen? Or
Like
reading TV quick
Like I
and
did
knowing
earlier
what
on,
the storyline's going to be
Don't
before
look
it
at our
happens.
Twitter account if you're waiting for Alan's socks this week because it'll spoil it for you.
Oh yeah.
I do have
Sorry,
to,
yes, that's like quite
Yeah,
bad that
same.
I've done that now. But
I have to say,
I
as
mean,
far as the
okay.
announcement goes, it's good news.
It is. It's all positive.
Because Dave's a guy with a proven track record. And for those that remember him, he's a a good guy to talk to. He's a good hockey man, and he'll bring a friendly face to the rink.
Shrewd appointment as well.
I think so. Yeah.
For more than hockey reasons.
Do you get a guy like Dave Whistle in for 2 weeks, a month? Do you think there's a view to having him for longer? I don't know.
Well, I think
I
if Dave flies in the 6 weeks that he's here, and the fan base, which maybe is a little bit divided, starts to join up behind him, that maybe it's something that we will look at.
The thing is, though, it is difficult as well, isn't it? Because of course it's not his team either, and
No.
you see it. We've seen it with Pope, haven't we, as well? And you see it in any sport when a new coach comes in, they build their own team. It's a lot more difficult, obviously, to do it partway through the season. So while yes, you can judge Whistle in a certain way, on the other side, it's difficult for him to come straight in and suddenly get the best out of a group of guys that most of them he's probably never met before, and a team that's found its way of playing this year. Without him, that's going to be a difficult situation anyway. So I'm not sure you can fully judge his performance with a view to the following year. You've just got to judge it in the situation that it is, and then sort of take the points from there. You can't just say, well, he's got a under 50% win record, therefore don't sign. I don't think it's as simple as that.
No, I think we'll have to see how it goes. You do tend to get a weird thing that happens when new coaches come in as well, and suddenly, like we saw it when Gardner went into the Claret last year, suddenly they started winning games and they hadn't been winning. And then unfortunately, they kind
that
of...
was a massive change, wasn't it?
Yeah, they'd had a lot of off-ice issues.
Yeah.
They had some issues there with Jordan when he was in charge, and and they wanted to make changes, and nothing was very smooth there. I'm not saying Jordan was the issue either. I'm just saying there was some issues there. And certainly with Dave coming in, is one of the lights not working now? It suddenly seems a lot darker. That's better. I think it can only be positive. He's an experienced head who's done it all before, won championships. He knows what he's doing. He's
presumably knows the pitfalls of Cardiff as well.
He's a proven guy. He's been a coach in the DL. This guy's no idiot. So I think what we're going to get is a guy who'll come in and assess the situation. He's bound to have been looking at the situation because this has obviously been going on a little while, and hopefully that'll move us on and stabilise things a bit. So we've got a little bit of a period there to see how that works, and good luck to him. So
it's good to have that responsibility shifted onto a coach coming in, I suppose, as well, rather than possibly as it might have ended up being one or two of the players as well.
Well, if it had been the players, I think they've got enough to think about. So
it can't be easy as a player coach. A player coach who is one of the has to step in for a short time can't be an easy job.
No.
So, but that's a big announcement anyway, actually, isn't it?
So really positive.
And I just must mention as well, of course, is that stuff has started happening on the site. That's another thing.
Yeah.
Well, just as we're on a bit of a wave within the show. The hoardings.
Crash onto the beach of Belfast.
It is. Come on. Yeah. So the hoardings are started going up around the rink, as people will see on Thursday against the Panthers, and there was a digger on site the last 2 days.
So just a little
I'm not being
reminder.
funny. I know that's really sad. Yeah,
You
but
get a picture, right?
what is it? 10 years that we've been waiting for
we want
this.
digger pictures.
To see a digger on the site
Is exciting.
is actually really exciting.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely buzzing about it.
Yeah.
As you can tell.
And just a little reminder that the rear car park is now closed, so it's Morrison's car park on game nights, please.
Yeah. Are we
Just
now
to
sponsored by
just
Morrison's?
so everyone can
as well?
remember that.
No.
No.
And if you can try and remember to park as far away from the main doors as you can, so that's down the far end, just so as not to disrupt the front entrance on the nights when the shop is open.
Yeah. Your iPad's
If everyone
off.
can just remember that.
Wow.
But yeah, that's exciting. It is exciting, and we've seen the pictures. We all were at Dundee the other day, which looks a little bit similar
Alright.
to my mind with the walkway around before where the seating is. It probably isn't that similar, but you know that.
Yeah, it's got that vibe. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, because we're not used to that, are we?
No.
We're used to,
It's funny because I was in when I was away, which was really nice. I got to go to Madison Square Garden. That was well, that wasn't really that similar either. But I'm sure it gave us an idea of
Of what an arena looks like.
Like the rink that we might have, but it gave you an idea. That's
Anyway, going off the pictures that are up, it looks very exciting, and we're really looking. And that will make such a difference to the club.
Exactly. We're going to tweet some pictures.
we're gonna keep it fairly regular, tweeting pictures and stuff like
We
that.
have a man whose premises overlooks the disruption.
Yeah.
I saw one thing we didn't really mention about the Scotland triple header is the players that stood out, and what I'm gonna say is they all stood out.
They all stood out.
They all all the guys played really hard that weekend, and it would be unfair to name names because everybody put on a performance. So my man of the trip would be the whole team.
The whole team.
But
Yes.
if you had to pick someone,
No, I couldn't. You couldn't pick anyone. They all played so hard to get. Otherwise, we wouldn't have got the 3 wins.
yeah.
We would have lost at least one of the games if they
So,
hadn't tried so hard.
So
Let's crash this wave of positivity
yeah,
into the beaches of Belfast this evening.
Yeah.
Or last night.
last night was it the? But it's difficult this because
Yeah.
we're very upset because we've just watched it. But of course, this is going out tomorrow, so
That's
to
why the
give an
start was
illusion of that,
very
so we have to try and
shambolic.
be
Yeah.
change our emotions as though we're a day in mourning as opposed to an hour in mourning.
Yeah.
Difficult.
Yeah,
We're not trained actors either.
As you may have noticed.
Unfortunately, 4 games in 5 days has proved to be too much for us,
Yeah.
and it looked too much. And maybe people will question why Plummer and Mo didn't play tonight when they were fresh, and maybe they'd have a fair point. Difficult to say.
Mo's still got some problems with his face. Hasn't
Mo's
he?
still not 100%. No,
I don't know about Brad, but
and I think with Brad, probably the concern was the penalty count.
could be.
Counting against us, particularly with it
They-
being young Mr. Hicks.
They really punished us on penalties when they.
They're very good in the power play.
Yeah.
We didn't want them on the power play. Unfortunately, in the third, we looked completely dead on our feet, and we just could not stop Belfast from getting in on the
It
goalkeeper.
was a little concern, and obviously, the fitness issue, is that of course 4 games in 5 days with the travel as well and all that sort of stuff. It was a little concerning for me how there was a period there in that the last period where we did seem to just completely capitulate, like we had done in the hammerings against them previously. And as physically tired as those guys were, I'd be surprised if there wasn't a bit of a psychological issue happening there, particularly with those previous results as well, because we just went to pieces there for a period like we did when we, in that second period.
We had 10 minutes where we just fell apart, basically.
Yeah.
And it just felt to me, as tiring as it was, is that we just weren't making some sensible plays there. We should have just clearing the zone, icing the puck, perhaps even moving Max back to D just to help with some shifts there because those guys are out on their feet. I thought it could have been a lot more. I think Kozowski had a really strong game there, and that could have been double figures again.
He made some very strong saves, in fairness to him.
And Murph didn't have to make a lot of big saves, really, did he?
He didn't. We probably had one. We probably had a good one that was ruled out. Belfast had a couple ruled out. Difficult to judge because there was no replay, unfortunately, on the webcast. So wouldn't want to.
We missed that one goal for Dancing Sandwich as well.
Yeah, we had a dancing sandwich when they scored.
He was good, though, was
But we were certainly in it, and we were staying in it. And once we started to lose our way a little bit, that we did seem to just lose it completely.
It's difficult, isn't it? Because it is difficult for guys to think in 2-leg terms. I think it's quite an anomaly in terms of a lot of competitions that they'll have played in. And I appreciate they're professional and they and all that sort of stuff, but it's different when they're there, especially the fact that there's a handful of fans out there probably. I suspect we wouldn't have capitulated in quite the same way. Maybe the score might not have changed.
No,
but if the same travelling support had been there,
the thing is, Tuesday night,
it's difficult
header.
It's difficult, isn't it, to to think, oh yeah, we've got to play these again next Wednesday, and it's part of the same game sort of thing in the first leg. But what do you think about that next Wednesday game? Now we've seen Hull already call off a game because you've got to pay for Belfast flights. Is that true? Is that right?
That's what Hull
we
Press
believe.
That's what we were told.
Yeah, I'm sure the Hull Press said that.
If that is true, then that seems absurd to me. But there we are. Well,
they paid for our trip over allegedly. So.
They paid for our trip.
Yeah,
over?
It goes in reverse. Yeah.
Yeah, it goes in reverse. So they paid for you to come to them. That you paid for them to come to you.
Right, well, fair enough. But it still seems odd.
Yeah.
We do owe Belfast a good thrashing at the BBT though, and maybe the guys will want to have a go at that, even though we're well behind. Maybe they'll want to go in there and just try and have a good go at them.
There's 2 arguments. That's a good argument. I like that. But at the same token, it's a midweek game in a congested fixture list. Do we play the game? Are we going to make a loss on that? How many fans are we going to have turn up midweek in a game we've already lost?
That's a good question.
You could argue the only way to get
it.
people there would have been to start something in the tunnel after the game. how do we... Is it worth us playing the game?
Yeah, I think that you can't not play it. I mean, on current form, who do we get in the playoffs? current league position, we get Belfast in the playoffs.
Good point.
We've got to improve our league
So
position.
we've got to, because they'll.
Like Coventry
Yeah, but,
and Hull are in
but the
shooting
point you
distance
make is
now,
a good one.
so-
That
Yeah.
it's almost a free go at Belfast to see if we can find a way to
It's
beat
a
them. Because at
free
the
go at
moment,
Belfast,
we
exactly.
you know we do
Yeah.
for whatever. I mean, you know, Belfast are a better team than Nottingham and Sheffield this year.
Oh,
You know,
quite a bit
regardless
better.
of injuries, they are quite a bit
Head
better.
and shoulders better.
However,
Yeah.
we beat both Panthers and Steelers with full rosters as
Mm.
well, and
But not
short bench
Belfast.
roster, but not Belfast. So we can compete, but it's more. It says to me, it's more away. The fact we're getting hammered, it's more down to not knowing how to beat them, and probably
Yeah.
the psychological side of it. I don't think we can't beat. You know, I think we can beat them, or we should be able to. So maybe it is worth doing that game just from that
Yeah, I mean,
point of view. But
For
are we
me,
gonna?
this is the best drilled Giants team we've ever seen.
Yeah.
They're so tight this year.
Yeah.
Everything is by the numbers. They're not pulling stupid penalties. They're not gooning it out like they have done in the past. No offense,
Well, they goon it out when they need to goon it out.
but only when they need to.
Yeah,
Not just going out
exactly.
and nailing people. They're like,
Yeah.
all right, we're just going to play.
Yeah.
You know? It's a very different Giants team from last year. Even last year, I think.
No, and to beat Murphy, you need to be able to pull him around in the crease, and that we were struggling to get that done tonight because whenever we tried manoeuvring it around in the crease, they were getting the puck off us.
Exactly.
That's the best way to beat Murphy because he's very good as a one-on-one netminder. So if he's got a couple of guys protecting him and someone's taking a shot from a distance, 99% of the time he'll get it.
But every time they had two guys back, I don't
Yeah.
think we got one-on-one within like.
No,
four.
not really.
Yeah.
No, and we certainly weren't in a position where you can have a guy either side and move the puck around and make it difficult for Murphy to choose a side. We didn't really get that going tonight, and that was down to them, not as much as anything.
So we decided we should play next week.
We should play. We should have a good go at them, and we should try and get a win off them, and work on what tactics we're going to use if we keep on facing them.
Cool.
That would be my
Yeah.
choice. Because we might, if we make, let's say we make it to playoff weekend, and we didn't have to play them in the round.
Get them in the first game anyway. Probably.
Yeah, and we get them. We're going to get them some point.
Yeah.
We've got to beat them sooner or
If
later,
you want an aspiration to win the league, at some point we have to beat them or beat someone who's beaten them.
and they are real
And
quality.
it
this
is
year.
almost a freebie game to have a go at them, isn't it?
Yeah,
I suppose?
yeah. Let's
Yeah.
go out there and give it a try.
Cool.
It's not a freak
Yeah.
game for us to watch.
No, that's true.
I mean, well, it'd be interesting
But I'm
to
sure-
see if there's decisions made on that. I suppose.
I'm sure a lot of fans will want to be in there to get behind the guys there and try and
Yeah.
give them a bit of a lift. Because certainly in Scotland they said it lifted them, and maybe tonight, without all of us shouting there as well, and them being so tired, they lost that bit of momentum. So certainly in the tent we'll want to try and get a big crowd and get behind them.
Segues into big crowd in the tent. Panthers on Thursday.
Yeah,
How does that say?
well, because we want a big crowd in the
Well,
tent
we
on
want
Thursday.
to be.
Trying to drive the show to under half an hour, and I needed to stop that conversation, so I segued
Yeah.
it really badly.
Yeah,
Now
You
you've
did.
pointed
That
that
was
out.
good.
Sorry.
Thanks,
We do.
Alex.
We want a big crowd in the tent on Thursday, and remind the guys what it was like in Scotland, and for the guys who haven't been in the BBT before, the new guys.
You were saying they were loving it, weren't you?
Oh,
in
absolutely
Scotland?
loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've spoken to them, and they were saying they just never seen anything like it before.
So we want a big
But even
crowd.
our regular guys were saying it was incredible.
Big crowd. Hashtag inside. Yeah.
That's right. We want a big crowd there to get behind the guys and to give the new guys a big welcome, because unfortunately, because of the way things have been lately, they haven't really got the big Cardiff welcome they would normally get.
No.
Because normally when signings are announced, the guys get loads of posts, from people saying, great, and
Whereas what we've got
welcome
is,
to Cardiff.
why have we signed this bunch of Eastern European clowns?
Yeah,
In
we
general.
haven't really had that this time, and it would be great to give them,
That'd be great.
a nice big Cardiff welcome. They had a nice welcome from the Red Army in Scotland. It'd be nice to give them a big Cardiff welcome now. And on that note as well, for guys like I'll get his first name wrong. Certainly for Moose Whiting, who was the backup netminder in Scotland, there was very very little said beforehand.
Yeah.
Uh,
We said his name when I went, who? It was like, what?
Because unfortunately we just had the thing with Joey, and a lot of people were upset
Yeah.
about that. And
Exactly. There was no real hype about.
but it's not the young guys. And certainly when we were up there, Joe sent a lot of very positive messages through, wishing everyone well and congratulating them on the points, and that shows what a pro Joe is.
Yeah, exactly.
A big well done, because we had Callum was up there with us as well.
Mm-hmm.
We had Callum and you had young Moose, and two good guys for the future for the Devils. So well done to them.
So Nottingham anyway. Nottingham inside. I think let's have a talk about that one, shall we?
Yeah.
I'm saying
It's definitely the
Alright.
game's definitely happening inside.
Definitely happening inside, not outside.
Yeah.
Um,
Definitely hockey inside.
Yeah.
And like the stadium series at the moment.
Let's get a big crowd in there to welcome the new guys and to get behind them, because we've got a good record against Panthers at home this season.
We do. I mean, we beat them last time they came down.
And we'd like to continue that. The guys have got a little bit of rest now, not a lot, but a little bit of rest before the Panthers game. Let's let's get right behind them and drive them on, that extra player on the ice. We know obviously there will be.
We're going for 4 from 4 against the Panthers in the league, by the way. So a clean sweep.
When was the last time that happened?
At home, sorry, in the league.
Say,
a clean sweep home series against Panthers in the league, which
that'd be really nice. Yeah.
would be
Rare.
that would be a big thing.
Yeah.
That.
And
Especially when you
said
take
it,
into account a couple of the wins we've had, where we've been quite short bench. I know they've had their problems as
now
well.
you've said it.
Well, they've had a lot of problems. They are the only team with more have used more imports than us. Is that right? I think.
I wouldn't be surprised. I had like 27.
No, and there hasn't really been much fuss about that
It is a
there.
horrendous game to research.
Yeah. But they've had all sorts of issues there. They had Murray, who went to Germany. I think was it last week, unexpectedly.
He's class.
The
Murray of
on,
thy Slewfoot.
Yes, that Murray.
The team list on Match Not Live for Panthers, you have to scroll. It's got its own scroll bar. So like, where's that guy? It's great. I love it.
Certainly, but they made a very positive signing over the weekend.
Oh yeah.
They brought a very
Big
big capable guy in. It'll be interesting. Mike Ware's nephew.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of Devils fans who wanted him in Cardiff for quite a few years.
I've heard his name rumoured more than once.
Yeah, but he almost was here at one time.
But they lost to Steelers, didn't they, with him in the team on the weekend?
They did.
Although Steelers are getting better, aren't they?
But Kowalski is back now, and that's a big plus for them.
That is, yeah.
He is one of the few netminders in the league, along with Murphy, who really does make a huge difference to your team.
Yeah.
They're not on that level. Let's say the majority of the netminders are on that level. Those guys are on that level. Yeah. It is a different level again.
Do it again. I would say, and go with it. I would say they're on that level.
Well, quite possibly.
So
Yeah.
hang on, so
even higher up.
just above the level where John thought they were.
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, somewhere up there.
What, it's like the sea.
Yeah, you know.
But I think that'll be interesting going in on Thursday to see what we can do with Kowalski back, and see how the guys go. Big welcome. Obviously, we are aware that there is going to be a protest outside the tent.
And with that in mind,
A peaceful protest, I hasten to
we're
add. Outside.
going to run 2 Match Night Lives is the current plan.
Right. Okay.
We're going to run Match Night Live inside and Match Night Live outside.
Oh,
Okay.
cool.
It's something special.
There's going to be a peaceful protest about outside the tent about some of the things that have been going on this season and people's general dissatisfaction with that. So and obviously I would encourage everybody to respect individuals involved on both sides. And that there's no abuse on either side by any of the parties involved, please. Because everybody chooses to follow the hockey in their own way, and they choose to do what they want, and that doesn't make them any lesser as a fan, whether they choose to be those who stand outside or those who choose to go inside. So if we can have respect for both sides, that would be appreciated.
Yeah, that's okay.
So, anything you want to add to that?
No, I think you said it all there. I think that's all anyone can hope for, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so, because that there are people there who feel strongly enough that that's the place for them. And certainly there's nothing wrong with that at all.
People who feel strong enough, the place is inside it is for them.
That's right. There are definitely, and I'm not going to say there's two sides, because for the vast majority of people, it's all about the love of the club and the guys who play for them. They're just people being humans. They do things in different ways. If we all did things exactly the same all the time, it'd be a very boring world. People do things in different ways, but as long as they respect each other's point of view, then I can't really see there being any issue with that. And I would encourage as many people as possible to certainly get down to the tent for that game and get right behind the guys, give them the lift that they need. Obviously, a tough night tonight, or tough night yesterday, depending on when the program goes out. Give the guys the lift they need and drive them on.
Probably just after the game on Thursday.
Yeah. So,
Oh, really? We
I'm
can't do that because
No.
we preview the bloody Panthers game.
I'm having a laugh.
and a big thank you to our sponsors, Red Army Travel and Brett at the Drum Depot.
Right. I miss him sitting over there. I like that one. That was good.
We will get Brett. We will get Brett back on the show soon.
That was fun. That was. I enjoyed it.
So finally, big thank yous to Phil Cook and Joe Myers, and a big thank you to everybody who was on the trip.
And for those who've missed it, because I know people have, I've had messages.
Yeah.
Alan's got socks.
Allied Socks. Let's do that to finish off on a cheery note.
Get in there. Alec, go on.
Yeah.
Let's
say what it is, because actually the truth is I forgot my socks night. I did have a pair I was going to bring, so they'll be showcased next week, and they're a very exciting pair. But my lovely friend John, along with
Joe
your good
and
lady,
James, yes.
and James, as in, are we talking about James as in
Long haired layback.
Yes.
As in James?
James Inferno, yeah.
Inferno James have very kindly surprised me, as there's a picture on Twitter gone up,
There is, don't look at
with a pair of socks from the Scottish trip. So even though I wasn't there myself, my new pair of socks
You have a memento.
were there
Come
on
hurry
the
up,
trip.
quick.
And I wouldn't hasten to say that it was these socks which made the difference. Perhaps in the overtime win.
Well, no doubt.
Yeah, were they at the game? Were they present?
Faster.
No, they weren't, but-
So, anyway, the only thing is, they're bloody small, these socks.
Sorry.
But they're marvellous, and look at that, I've never had a pair like this.
I've never seen a pair like that before, in all honesty.
Look at those.
Look at those.
Marvellous.
He's got a little fake thing on it. Yeah.
That's-
Let's do it.
And let's call it there. Well
That's
done.
the full 360 view.
Yeah, I was trying to get everyone a viewpoint for that one there.
Thank you to everybody who watched the programme.
Oh,
Thank you.
I've got a lace in my
Sorry.
toe. Hang on, I haven't sat down yet.